What can just a few headlines really tell us about the future of the monarchy? Well, we're about to find out. We're taking a magnifying glass to a recent string of stories all about the Prince and Princess of Wales, and what we found reveals this fascinating and, frankly, constant battle between the story they want to tell and the one they can't control.
And that's really the big question, isn't it? To try and answer it, we're going to look at three very different stories that were all happening at the exact same time. Their intensely private family vacation, the carefully crafted public image they project, and, of course, the storm of media gossip that follows them everywhere.
So first up, let's look at the story that was never really supposed to be a story at all. We're talking about their ultra-private family holiday, miles away from any cameras.
So, picture this. Kefalonia. It's known as the Saint-Tropez of Greece, a total playground for celebrities. But the Waleses, they reportedly spent almost the entire time tucked away, barely even stepping foot on shore. Total privacy was the goal.
And where did they stay to get all this privacy? Well, on a super yacht valued at a mind-boggling $30 million. Yeah, this wasn't just some boat trip. This was their own private floating palace.
The yacht is called the Lady Beatrice, and it is the absolute definition of luxury. I mean, come on, an onboard beauty salon, a grand piano, a top-deck swimming pool. This paints a picture of a world that is completely separate from their official public life.
Even the experts in the yachting world call this ship an emblem of grandeur. And that really says it all, doesn't it? This is their private life, one of just immense privilege, and a really deep desire to be left alone. So much so that the yacht even vanished from marine trackers for 5 days straight.
Okay, so on one hand, you have this ultra-private, luxurious escape. But at the exact same time, a very different story was being carefully put together for everyone to see. This is the official version of the Waleses.
So, at the end of the month, Kensington Palace drops its Royal Rewind on Instagram. You should really think of this as their official highlight reel. It's the version of events they want us to see and remember.
And what's front and center in this rewind? A video of Princess Catherine, talking about her signature cause, early childhood development. The message is serious, it's wholesome, and it's all about duty. This is the Princess of Wales as the public servant.
And this next bit, it's the perfect example of how they present themselves as a couple. They put out these dueling good luck messages for their rugby teams, William for Wales, Catherine for England. It's this fun, competitive little thing that just reinforces that image of a happy, solid partnership.
Right. So we have the private luxury and we have the polished public image. But running right alongside both of those is a third, much, much messier story. And this one is driven entirely by the media.
And it all kicked off with this one little phrase, an act of defiance. Now you're probably wondering what this was about. Some major policy decision? A big break from royal protocol? Nope. It was about a haircut.
Okay, listen to how fast the gossip machine spins this, at least according to some reports. The princess gets a new, blonder hairstyle that is immediately interpreted as an act of defiance. Then the story grows with claims that Prince William is ashamed of all the gossip. And just like that, a haircut gets twisted into a whole story about marriage problems. But you have to remember, this kind of media speculation doesn't just happen out of nowhere. It's always playing out against the backdrop of that bigger, ongoing family drama. So to really get the next piece of this puzzle, we need to talk about the Invictus Games for a second. This is Prince Harry's passion project. He founded it back in 2014, and at the time he had the full support of his brother and sister-in-law. It's still a huge part of his identity.
So you can imagine the headlines when a former top aide to William and Kate suddenly took a key role at the Invictus Games. In the tiny world of royal advisors, that sends a really powerful message about a potential shift in alliances.
So this aide, Nick Logren, was once a total insider for William and Kate. He leaves the palace, the rift between the brothers gets worse and worse, and now he's officially appointed to Harry's foundation. It's a pretty powerful statement that hints at where loyalties might be shifting behind palace doors.
So when you put all of these pieces together, the private life, the public image, the media gossip, the family drama, you start to get a really clear picture of the huge challenge facing the next king and queen.
It really is a tale of two competing stories. On one side, you've got the image they can control, the polished social media posts, the united public front. But on the other side, you've got the reality being reported in the media, the crazy speculation, the deepening family rifts, and all those stories about ignored peace offerings.
And that's the key takeaway here. Their entire life is basically a high-wire act. They are constantly trying to balance their public duties, their very human desire for a private life,
and these relentless, often uncontrollable stories that are being spun by the global media machine.
Which really leaves us with one final, huge question. In our modern world of 24/7 news and endless social media speculation, is the very idea of a private life even possible when you're destined to wear the crown? It's a dilemma that's going to define their entire reign.